America today. Only 19% of Americans say they trust the government most of the time, down from 73% in 1958, according to the Pew Research Center. Sadly, that is a rational response to the way things are. America is a different country today, and a much nastier one. For politically engaged Republicans, the figure is 6%. That, in a nutshell, explains the Trump phenomenon and the disintegration of the Republican establishment. If the people don't trust the government, tinkering with entitlement reform is like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. American legal institutions are consistently more liberal than those in Canada, and they are biased towards a privileged class of insiders who are better educated and wealthier than the average American. That's why America has become an aristocracy. By contrast, Canadian legal institutions aren't slanted to an aristocracy. The paradox is that Canadians employ conservative, free market means to achieve the liberal end of economic mobility, and that points to America's way back. Acknowledge that the promise of America has diminished, then emulate Canada. A little bit about the author. Frank Buckley, who is the author of The Way Back, Restoring the Promise of America, is a foundation professor at Scalia Law School at George Mason University, where he has taught since 1989. Previously, he was a visiting Olin Fellow at the University of Chicago Law School, and he's also taught at McGill Law School, the Sorbonne and Sciences Po in Paris. He received his BA from McGill University and his LLM from Harvard University. He is a senior editor of the American Spectator and the author of several books, including The Once and Future King, The Rise of Crown Government in America, and The Way Back, Restoring the Promise of American Life. One of the things that's interesting is that, again, this is an author that decries or seems to, he doesn't really seem to take, nowhere in the article does he really take a firm position or stand. He just seems to act as though he is neutral on this. Yet, he is not neutral. He's a professor. One of his degrees is LLM. I'm assuming that is a legal degree, and he goes on in the article to say that America has an aristocracy of academics and lawyers, among others, and also the idea of having the promise of America that comes from a book written by Herbert Crowley called The Promise of American Life, in which Mr. Crowley argues that the promise of American life is ever-increasing prosperity, that one should be able to expect that one's children are going to do better than oneself, and that their children will do better than them, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where we ended up getting Keynesian economics from, too. It was a way of trying to make good on the, quote, promise of American life. The problem with it is that there is no such promise. It doesn't exist in the Constitution, doesn't exist anywhere. It's just a poetic metaphor. And but anyways, that was the Restoring America's Economic Mobility by Frank Buckley, and it's an issue, September 2016 issue of Imprimis, which is a Latin word that means in the first place, publication of Hillsdale College. And Imprimis is a free publication. If you go to hillsdale.edu, you can subscribe to this pamphlet and get it for free. So, thank you very much for listening, and the next episode will be on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, and which should be, let's see, today if it is the 16th, 20th, December 20th. So, until then, have a great day.